Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about somebody who is looking to find a partner, somebody they could have a serious relationship with. We've got the Ten of Pentacles. They're not interested in anything like, a situationship or something that they don't see a future in. And when they see you, I feel like they see you across the room or they see you before you see them. They find something very magnetic about your personality, or maybe they hear your laugh or your voice really captivates them. There's something that makes it seem like you are somebody they just have to get to know. I'm thinking of that scene with Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz in Blow. So, across the room, and do I know you? Have I met you? Because they are not really able to take their eyes off of you, or they just really want to know more about you. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchenta. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you have some fun plans. Hello, Key Controller. How we doing? If you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. Hello, Danny. How we doing today? What should we start with? I think we'll start with the Cats Roll the Earth. Ooh, actually, I think maybe the Pause Tarot would be better. All right. What else do we have? Hello, Third Eye. What's going on? What else do we have? Death, Five of Pentacles, Two of Swords. So we have somebody that is, I think, leaving behind a bit of a hermit phase, or they've had some endings in their life, and that could include things that are, more platonic, like friendships or family connections. They may have recently changed communities, but this person, I think, is ready to, it's like they're ready to move on to greener fields, or, find a better place to settle, a better, community, to find some friends, but they're looking for a relationship. And it's like they've already done this pivot, but they're like scoping, looking to see who might have gone through maybe like similar things that they could relate to. Hello, Juan. How are you doing? Right back to you. What else do we have? This is somebody who's gone through, I think, a few rounds of ego death or spiritual awakening. They know themselves very well. They will come through as a very authentic individual. They speak from the heart, not in a way trying to manipulate in any way. They're just saying how it is. So they might be a little bit of an introvert. I don't think this is somebody who goes on a lot of dates or spends a lot of time in places like bars. This would be somebody who I feel like they meet friends or they know people because of their interests. History, sports, activities, right? Not, I don't know. It's like they look for niche activities. We have the Moon and the Magician in the reverse. The endings that this person has experienced recently have to do with controlling people. So they may have had some very difficult conversations or like relationships with, how do I navigate my self-respect and my needs while understanding those of others? This could be somebody who was previously a people pleaser, or someone who was not necessarily the best at communicating what they needed, but they have stood up for themselves and walked away from the people that felt like they could control them. For a smaller percentage of you, this is somebody who was more the controlling type and they have gone through therapy or worked on themselves to not have that issue. But I feel like from the majority of you, this is someone who has been dealing with individuals that like to make choices for them or pressure them into a certain situation or choice. Three of Wands and the Hierophant in the reverse. I think there's been a change of address or removing oneself from a community in order to establish a new, I don't know if I want to say status quo, but it's like a lot of things are changing. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to have this be a part of my life. I want this routine to alter. They're choosing the routine or setting up a new situation for themselves, and it's based on what they want instead of what other people expect of them. Hello, Upper Echelon. Hello, Peggy. How we doing? Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. So, what are we going to call you? I don't know. I kind of want to call you the Moon, but we'll see. Whoever I'm reading about right now, the person who's gone through a lot, I do kind of want to call him the Moon, but we'll see what else we have because that might get confusing. This is somebody who has learned a difficult truth, but they also see it as something that has freed them from I don't know, almost like discontent or boredom. They were not satisfied with the situation they found themselves in. And that's because they were trying to live life in a way other people told them to, as opposed to authentically. This is like, okay, start over. This is how I would do it if it was my choice. It's like that feeling when you walk into your new apartment or your new house, and it's got these stylistic choices from the previous owner or the previous tenant, and you're like, all right, I'm going to change that, going to change that, going to change that. That's going to look like me. We're going to put all my art up here. I'm going to paint that, sand that, something over there. Probably need a bookshop. You know what I mean? It's that like, I'm not going to do it how other people did. I'm going to do it my way now. They're not as influenced by others as they had been in the past. And this Ace of Cups is kind of like two separate messages. Number one, the Ace of Cups can be about the love that you show to yourself, the self-care, the choices that you make that might be a little bit disruptive or difficult, but you know it's good for your mental health. That's what we have here. So very impressive in terms of somebody taking a situation that did not make them happy and finding their way towards happiness and taking those actions. This could be somebody who's recently or like in the last 5 years been divorced or had to make a major career change. This is What's the News. Hello, Louise. What else do we have? We have Heart to Heart, deep conversations, intimate discussions, blunt and honest. Yeah, whoever we're dealing with, this is somebody who's not going to be like putting on a show or an act. They're going to be very authentic, very straightforward. They don't care to mince words or make promises they don't intend to keep. Maybe that was their old life, but it's certainly not how they handle things now or how they want to handle things. Time, delay, procrastination, and too busy. There was a sense of discontent or feeling stuck because this person was able to make changes earlier in their life, but they procrastinated. It's too much work. I don't know when I could work that into my schedule. I really can't like delay that landscaping project. We've got I think a bit of relief because someone's finally done the work that they needed to build a foundation of a new life for themselves. The thing is, sometimes really beautiful things come from difficult situations. And this is one of those situations where we can transmute that negative energy or that pain, the things that we've gone through, because somebody here was guilty. Um, it's a general reading, so you know what's going on there, or maybe you'll find out if this is your person. But getting over the past is why we have graduation day. I know what I learned. I feel like I have a better understanding what direction I need to move in. And I think I'm ready to let go of that chapter of my life. Hello, Christopher. How are you doing? Snack, obsession, physical attraction, sex appeal, detective, snooping, digging for dirt, and accusations. The individuals in the community that this person has left behind, the moon individual, they left behind people that were difficult to trust, people that made a lot of accusations. There may have been some irresponsible behaviors pertaining to physical intimacy. Kind of a throw you under the bus type crowd. I can see why somebody would want to walk away from that. This is the Wild Reflections. What else do we have? Hermit, Three of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. That's beautiful. Sorry if you hear like squeaking, it's my boots. This is definitely like a reset for somebody. I know what I want when it comes to my inner circle. I know that I want to be able to trust the people around me. I know that I want to be able to be trustworthy and be supportive towards those that I consider my close friends. So if I don't feel like I have that now, I'll go where I feel like I can find that. This is somebody who has set their sights on what would be a good life or where they could be happy. For some, it's, maybe I'd be happier if I was living at the beach. Maybe I'd be happier if I was living in the mountains. To me, this looks like Oregon. This is somebody making choices based on what they feel would be good for them. Mind, body, and soul, right? I want to have proximity to certain places as far as outdoor activities. I want to be able to hike, or I want to be able to surf. I want to be able to fish. We've got somebody who's doing the right things for themselves, building the life that they want. And I think this is why we have the Nine of Pentacles, because they're getting ready and laying that foundation for a happy life for themselves. And that's when they envision being able to have a strong connection with a love interest. This is somebody preparing for like being able to live with somebody, being able to get married. They want, the happy life. Seven of Cups and the Seven of Swords in the reverse. So setting the scene for a serious relationship, addressing the things that they needed to within and also without. This is somebody who is now like ready to dip their toe in the dating pool. They're like, okay, who's out there? They're ready. So I feel like this is someone who's going to be more social, looking for opportunities to meet new people, do things that they enjoy, because there's also like a sense of contentedness. Go with happiness. That makes them feel like they're actually able to pursue a relationship and have something to offer, right? Two of Wands and the World. Yeah, their planning has paid off because they've also followed through with actions. This is somebody who has a lot that they've changed in the last year or two. And now they're looking to see who aligns with what they want, who kind of like makes their heart sing, right? This is really sweet. Emperor and the Seven of Wands. So now we've had 3 sevens come out from this deck. They feel like it's the right time. I've done the inner work. I've worked on my living situation. I feel great about the security that I can offer someone or the emotional intimacy that I'm capable of. Don't get too caught up on the genders, right? This emperor could be anyone, but they're ready to go for what they want. They feel like it's the right time. They feel like there's nothing holding them back. So for some of you, there's going to be like a serendipitous meeting. Some of you will meet, you get introduced because of a friend or something like that. But others of you, it might be like, the person behind you at the gas station or someone who helps you reach, the top shelf in the grocery store or gives you a recommendation on, I don't know, fishing lures. But there's a choice to be willing to be vulnerable again. I think the focus for whoever I'm reading for, this moon individual, you've come out as the emperor as well, so we could probably call you the moon emperor. You've been able to really like set the dominoes up the way that you want, and now you're ready to see how that goes, right? That moment where you're like, oh, is it gonna work? It's vulnerability because you're letting somebody get to know you. You're, putting yourself out there, but you feel like in a way it's vulnerability that you can do because you do feel like you're in a safe place or you've built the life you want. This is the Noisy Tarot. Hello, Voyager. How are you doing? Hello, Frederick. How's your day? Oh, thank you, Peggy. Nine of Swords in the reverse. Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. More sevens. So 777 is something you may be seeing. There's absolutely divine timing at work here. I do feel like you are in the right place at the right time to meet this person. You're supposed to meet this person. Why do I feel like they see you like from across the room? And there's something very like playful or like you're laughing. It's like you brighten this person's day. They might be kind of gruff or dealing with something that's frustrating. And then you're over there telling some like joke, you put a smile on this person's face before I feel like you're even introduced to them. And it like instant chemistry, like the title says. Seven of Swords. 3 sevens in a row. Five of Wands and the Magician in the reverse. Okay. So the Seven of Swords is the secret, right? They don't know initially if they should mention how captivated they are by you. So I do think this is someone who plays it cool. They don't want to, make it awkward. They don't want to misread the situation. Maybe they don't know if you're single. But I feel like with the Five of Wands, there's like friendly banter, like back and forth. The best example I can think of right now is if you were, let's say, on the subway or I don't know, headed to like a sports game, sports event, and you have one team and the other person has the other team. There might be some like friendly banter about the competitiveness of those two teams, right? There's something here where I feel like it's like a little bit of a knock or a little bit of a like, trying to make you squirm a little bit, seeing if you've got a little bit of a sarcastic approach or not. There's something here that's flirtatious, but it's competitive. And with the Magician in the reverse, I feel like this is somebody who's more like testing the waters, not like trying to force, like they're not going to come through and be like, hey, I think you're really attractive. Just write my phone number down, right? It's more of a conversational approach. For some of you, you get introduced to this person and you don't know that they liked you. And so maybe if you have a mutual friend, that person asks you, like, hey, is it okay if I give my number or your number to that person? Because apparently they'd like to hit you up. So we have the Hanged Man, the Empress in the reverse, and the Three of Cups. I think you're going to be a little torn initially. You may find something about this person initially may make you feel like, well, that's not a thing. That's just, so-and-so's friend, or that's just somebody I randomly met, I'll never see them again. Whatever it is, there's some sort of like dismissiveness here, like, whatever, that was fun, but it's not going to turn into anything. But I feel like it's because with the Empress in the reverse, it's like you're denying or not really wanting to believe that there was this chemistry or this energy. Probably because you don't want to be disappointed. You don't want to like build up hopes over it, Hello, Khalil. How are you doing? Toasted marshmallows. Hello, Jasmina. How are you doing? Moon in the reverse. Knight of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Swords. This person wants to be respectful, so that could be why there's some dismissive energy here, right? Like there's instant chemistry, there's flirtation, there's some sort of, I don't know, it's like you almost insult each other, but like in a playful way, right? But this person is treading carefully. They don't want you to assume that they have bad intentions. In other words, I really feel like this is kind of that like secret admirer category, because this person is captivated by you immediately. They want to like, get to know you right then and there, but they feel like they have to step back or be more respectful because something about the interaction or your energy tells them that you don't really respond to people who rush or move too quickly. So it's like the main energy is I want to make sure that I don't come on too strong or that I'm not being disrespectful. Maybe they want to check to make sure that you don't have a relationship. The moon in the reverse is the reason why they're holding back how they feel. It's because they don't want to come through as somebody who's like, I don't know, a homewrecker or somebody who is rude. They want to like assess the situation first. So, the situations deck. Hello, Christopher. How are you doing? What else do we have? Happiness, wholeness, overjoyed, smiling, and the roller coaster in the reverse. There's an ability to remain calm in difficult situations that the Emperor has mastered. They might have had a lot of difficulty or like tumultuous situations or people in their life that helped them kind of master being a bit of a stoic or holding their emotions in. That makes it easier for them to be a bit of a secret admirer for a little bit and do some recon or figure out whether or not you're single. So the difficult moments they would experience if they have a life with you, I feel like they would be like your rock. They would be there to really help you stay calm through the storm. Come together, reconciliation, spiritual union, soul contract, single, current status available, and commitment, long-term relationship. So you're about to meet this person. Some of you may have just met them, but I feel like you're about to meet this person. There's going to be sparks. There's going to be maybe people that are like, hey, like, do you like that? It looks like you guys get along really well. There is a checking to make sure that both parties are single, but then I feel like it's, focused energy. I want to be in a relationship. I want to get to know you. Let's go out. Let's, talk about what you're looking for. This is a very to the point person. So I don't think once they know you're single, I don't think they're going to take too long to like make their intentions known. Nice. I kind of care about that. Hello, Carrie. How's it going? So we've got from the Voyage of the Soul flow, breath, effortless, glide, easy and calm, intuition, innate perception, instinct, clairsentience, and extrasensory, and pathway. Choices, alternatives, horizons, new, forward, and direction. Things are starting to feel more like a routine, or this new life the Emperor has been working to set up feels real. And when they encounter your energy, when they meet you, it feels kind of like magnetic between the two of you. So they feel intuitively that they're supposed to have met you. I think relatively early on. I don't think they'll tell you that. Maybe they will later on. But there's something in this person's gut, in the Emperor's gut, that says, I think this person I've just met is important. There's something that draws me to this person. Serendipitous. See, right place, right time. I told you. Lucky and unexpected. For some of you, it's entirely possible you got like a mutual friend that introduces the two of you. But I really feel like for a lot of you, this is just literally you're at the grocery store at the same time, or you're at the gas station, or you're, buying shoes and they're sitting on the bench next to you. You're supposed to meet this person. It's a little bit strange how you do, but they are a part of this next chapter in your life, and they may not know that they were preparing specifically for you, but they've been preparing for a serious relationship, and you're like, oh, I volunteer as tribute. Here's the channel card, downloads, claircognizance, flashes, information, and deliver. I think both of you will have that intuitive feeling that draws you closer together. I guess you could call that chemistry, right? But this, I think, motivates both of you to get to know each other and not get distracted by others. All right, this is the energy oracle. What else do we have? What's up, Lemonade? How are you doing? Action. They've done all of those preparations. They did the planning. They took the action so that they could pursue this relationship. So they feel like things are paying off. We've got the World. This is about connections. Who do you know? And also that right place, right time. And Temple Path, very similar to the Pathways card we just picked up. This is where you're supposed to be and where they're supposed to be. You two are supposed to meet. So this is exciting. This is the Fairy Lenormand. What else? The Rider, number 1, Rider. And number 35, which is the Anchor. The Anchor talks about stability. The Rider talks generally about somebody who's probably showing up in person. So someone who's been working on their stability, somebody who has set up the life that they want to live, and they run into you. They're looking into, who can I love? Oh, that person looks great. I want to get to know them. All right, this is the Love Oracle. What else do we have? Hello, Melissa. Welcome. I hope you're having a good day. What else do we have? Distracted, sidetracked, change, and delays. And longing. Craving, aching, wanting. So this is a bit of a warning saying you're going to be in the right place, the right time to meet this special someone that I do feel many of you are destined to have a very happy relationship with this person. But you may still have a little bit of a tendency to think about somebody from your past, or there could be somebody from your past who is still longing to be with you. This is specifically calling it out as a distraction. Okay. So I feel you on some level know that this is done, whatever this connection is. Or if it's a new connection, it could be somebody who's just looking for a little bit of fun, nothing serious. Do not get distracted. Confessions, unveiling, coming clean, and messages. Ooh, Lord. Okay. So you might have two people confessing around the same time. You have the secret admirer who's serious. They want to have a long-term relationship and they are captivated by you. But you also have somebody who really just thinks you're hot or really just wants, something short-term. For some of you, this is somebody who wants to come back in your life just to prove that they can come back in your life. They're always on my back burner. Whenever I want to see them, I can. Is that true? I don't think it is. I think this new person is more so what you're looking for. But this person from your past has quite the ego. They, for whatever reason, genuinely believe that you would never fully get over them or choose someone over them. If this is not someone you were in a relationship with or had a pretty serious situationship with, then it's somebody who is just that arrogant, someone that you've met recently, but they are, for whatever reason, super confident that they've got you hooked on them, right? Got second chance, reconciliation, make amends, opportunity, and commitment. This is the choice. You've got somebody who wants another chance with you, but this person has still got some ego issues and it's coming through as this connection is a distraction. And then there's this new person that you have instant chemistry with, and they're interested in a long-term commitment. So if you're not interested in the long-term commitment, no big deal. But this reading is saying, if you want that long-term commitment, don't allow a distraction to get in the way of your being able to get to know this person who's actually quite serious and has done the work to be able to have a healthy relationship. Because I'm not entirely certain that this other person has done the work, at least not to the same extent. This is the Beginner's Tarot. What else do we have? The Lovers and Temperance. This is a soulmate. This new person that you're about to meet, there's instant chemistry because you align in multiple categories, sense of humor, music, long-term goals, whatever it might be. They really do seem to be um, a good match for you. But with the Hanged Man in the reverse, it feels to me like you have to be willing to let go of this other connection, this distraction. Because there is a very decent chance that the past connection can distract you or even get you to outright reject this new connection. Because they're coming through as the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords is somebody who can sabotage, somebody who is possibly going to influence your decision with trickery. We've got the Nine of Cups in the reverse, and you would look at this as a mistake. So it's like your future self is coming back around and saying, no, you already know what that's like. You don't need that. The new person is the individual who has the good intentions. You've just got to make sure you don't get caught up with somebody who still has some ego issues or doesn't really intend to commit. Eight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. This is the one who's going to put the work in, or the person who wants to actually be like your partner. That's the new person. Page of Pentacles is new. Queen of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Swords. So one of the things I like about the Beginner's Tarot is all of the cards have a little number at the top. So even though the Queen of Swords isn't generally associated with a number, this has a 4. We therefore have 444. That could be an important number for many of you, or be a sign that you see. This is saying you're going to have boundaries. You're going to have to use your noggin, your intuition, because if what you're looking for is consistency, someone who's reliable, somebody who is able to be in a committed relationship, someone who has their ish together, then you need to make decisions that reflect that. Some of you may get a little bit dazzled by this person from the past. Maybe you like their bold character. Maybe they have, a very charming personality, but they don't have the same substance to back it up. I don't feel like they've gone through the healing and the self-discovery that the Emperor has, there's not really the depth there. So we have the Devil and the Chariot, Seven of Swords in the reverse. If you are honest with yourself, and I do feel like you will be, you at some point say to yourself, and you might even just be muttering it to yourself under your breath, this person is not serious. This person's not serious about anything. They just want what they want, and then they'll be gone. The Emperor, on the other hand, they are actually serious. So I feel maybe it's even a conversation you have with like a close friend of yours, but I do feel like you acknowledge, these are different energies. One person's actually worked on their healing. Another person just seems to be, fine by the seat of their pants. So don't let the distraction distract you. All right, this is the Tarot of the Nile. Hello, Roa. How are you doing? What else do we have? Seven of Swords in the reverse, which is the last card I drew, so that's kind of wild. Queen of Wands in the reverse. And Temperance. So many of you have reached that point in your own healing process where being honest with yourself about the energies that you're encountering in other people I think leads to your being maybe reluctant, but you admit to yourself, this person from the past, as much as I would like that to work out, or as much as I may be attracted to them, maybe they're my type, whatever it is, you're thinking, yeah, but there's really not that level of alignment or understanding that I think I could have with this new person. Because again, there was instant chemistry. Hello, Gigi. How are you doing? Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. So again, more sevens. Okay. Seven of Pentacles in the reverse and Judgment. You have already called it with this person from your past, or you rejected that, or you walked away, or they did. So it feels like your spirit guides are saying, just let sleeping dogs lie. Like that did not work out. Don't like go back to that. I feel like the connection or the way you feel around each of those people is very different. There's an excitement and a feeling that you're safe or can be yourself around a new person that you may have struggled to consistently feel around the person that you've known for longer. Nine of Pentacles. Hanged Man in the reverse. So you can remain single. You don't have to make a choice. But if you decide to pursue a relationship with the new person that is very serious and very captivated by you, it does look like you would probably need to block or cut this person off from your past because they may be kind of coming back around on a loop. There's a sacrifice or something that needs to, like a perspective that needs to change, something that you may have been a little bit stubborn on, because this genuine person really does want to pursue a long-term relationship, but you gotta approach it respectfully. Hello, Carolyn. How are you doing? Ooh, hello, Laura. How are you? This is the Zodiac fortune telling cards. What else do we have? You will be more prosperous in the near future. A call from a loved one, a kiss, and you will overcome your domestic troubles. Yay! That was a fun one. All right. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you on the next reading. Toodles.